My name is Rob Bishop. I'm the Director of Academic and Community Conduct, and I'm here today to talk to you about academic integrity. The academic integrity policy does clearly define what is academic misconduct as it relates to plagiarism, cheating, fabrication, or the facilitation of those three things. But what I really challenge students to do is to ask their professors what their individual interpretations are for those policies. It's better for the student to have a dialogue with their faculty because each faculty member is going to have their own individual expectations for the student's behavior as it relates to academic integrity. The one thing that we look at in enforcing the policy is whether or not the student has done an intentional act to violate the policy or that they've been negligent in understanding the definitions fully. Some of the scenarios that students can get themselves into is making the assumption without asking, the instructor for clear, concise instruction. Also, it's better for them to ask permission than to be begging for forgiveness after they've been found in violation of the academic integrity policy. Sometimes students will give in to peer pressure. Their friends will ask them to help them on an assignment. And lo and behold, when the instructor is correcting it, there seems to be some collaboration that had gone on that was not authorized. So students should be sure that they follow the rules. And if they don't know, that they ask. As we say, ignorance is no excuse when it comes to enforcing the policies. Some of the consequences that students can face with academic integrity issues are sanctions. If a student is found responsible for an academic misconduct violation, they may be assigned a written warning, conduct probation, conduct suspension, or even conduct expulsion. In addition to those things, we also utilize educational conditions because our goal is to help a student learn from the mistakes that they've made in hopes that they don't repeat those mistakes, but they can also take that knowledge gained and help educate their peers not to make the same mistakes that they've made. Unfortunately, there can be some other consequences that are related to their violations. Each faculty member reserves the right whether or not they're going to impact the student's grade because of a finding of academic misconduct. So the faculty member could decide to either lower the grade or give a failing grade on the infringing assignment, or they could even give a lower grade or a failing grade in the course. These consequences can lead to other consequences as well. So that if you are given a failing grade in the course, that means you're going to have to repeat that course, which means you're going to have to pay money and spend some extra time. Also, when you get a failing grade, that could impact your academic standing. If your grade point average falls below a 2.0, you could be facing being placed on academic probation or suffering some other academic consequences. Some other consequences that students face could be that if you are placed on conduct probation, you may be ineligible for certain co-curricular or extracurricular activities. You may also be ineligible for some scholarships. Certain institutional scholarships do have clauses in them that the student must remain in good conduct standing. If they are on conduct probation, that means that they are not in good conduct standing. Therefore, it could impact their financial aid. Lastly, we strongly encourage that students utilize all the resources to assist them in being successful academically. Those resources would include the instructor of the course. They're the expert in the course. If in doubt, students should always ask the expert. We don't recommend that they necessarily refer to their peers. Sometimes peers don't give the best advice. Students may also seek out the assistance of learning centers. There is a proper resource for them to ask questions and to get directions on how to properly do assignments. They may also want to consult the library or the multiliteracy center, especially if they're writing papers. These are resources that are great for them, that give them the appropriate tools and the right pathways for them to be successful in their work. Lastly, if any students ever have any questions about the definitions, about scenarios, about consequences, or other resources for academic integrity, they can always stop by the Office of Academic and Community Conduct. We're here to help students succeed.